Mahalia here, your host for your very special moments with Mahalia. I'm excited because I'm having a chance to sit behind the scenes. That's right, this is your special scoop, to sit back and listen to me and the guest that I had for tonight, Paige, who is a performance coach and the owner of Paige Rene Coaching. I'm excited because we just wrapped up our April series of Live, Daring to Do More Than Exist. Paige, you want to say hello to everybody tuning in with us?
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. I'm excited to have you here as well, Paige. Okay, so we just finished our conversation talking about how your words, yes, your word choice, influences your behavior, influences your thought life, which really plays a key role in how you continue to move forward on your journey towards reaching your goals and really living in that constant state of growth. Well, when we were talking, I used the word thrive. And as we wrapped up our conversation, I thought a little bit more and said, well, wait a second. Sometimes when we hear the word thrive, we may think it's connected to financial success or some certain status. And I said, well, let me ask Paige this question, okay? So Paige, the question that I want to hit at you, thrive and personal growth. How are these two things connected? Or if they're not, let me know how they're not connected.
Yeah, I think thrive is absolutely connected. And one of the things I like to tell my clients is the right answer to any of these questions is your answer. So for me, what I define thrive as is feeling my best. And that's why I'm a performance coach. I want to help you feel your best so that you can perform better in business, relationships, careers, life, what have you, right? And so for me, that's feeling my best. And my routine is going to reflect supporting feeling my best. So if I'm going to ask you, well, okay, what does thriving mean to you? You'd have to define what that looks like for your life, what that looks like for how you feel your body, what that looks like for taking a motivation back, which is kind of what I explain is getting you back on track, right? If you're somebody that loves to have conversations with people because that lights you up. If you're somebody that really needs that quiet time to reflect with your journal, do that. So thriving is all about the person. It's all about you, and it's all about how you define that, and then supporting yourself by revisiting those things on a continual basis.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely can connect with that. I definitely connect. Also, one of the things that come to mind for me is that thriving, I see it as, am I being the best version of myself in whatever particular moment that I'm in? So let's just say today I am doing my normal routine. I'm making sure I get the proper nutrients and the proper amount of water today. So when tomorrow comes, if I fall way below those goals or those markers, I'm like, okay, well, wait a second. Did I thrive today in this area? Maybe not. And when you really hear the word for some other folks, you don't have to connect it to always being, oh, I have X amount of dollars in my account, or I have X amount of new likes on my blog or my social media page. No, am I being the best version of myself for this particular moment at this appointed time? Because your best today may not be your best tomorrow. The best tomorrow, I would hope, be a centimeter or millimeter above the best that you had for the day prior. Because when we talk about living life in this constant state of growth, that means we're trying to make our todays better than our tomorrows, better than our yesterdays, so that tomorrow can be better than our today. And family, I hope that that's something that you aspire and you really want to try to do. And Paige, when you hear that, okay, make your today better than your yesterday so that your tomorrow can be better than your today. What words come to mind? What thoughts really start floating around in your mind?
Yeah, I think of learning, right? And so I think of learning from one day to the next. And it's not like growth isn't a journey that looks like this. And I use this with a lot of my clients. It's a journey that looks like this. I mean, that's the realistic picture of it. And so to ask what it looks like to be better from one day to the next, it means learning yourself better, learning what supports your growth, learning the person that you want to be, right? And so that you can adjust from one day to the next. Something else that something else that's been really helpful for my clients in particular is this idea of expansion. So you're not necessarily thinking like linear growth here. You're thinking of all the areas you can expand into when you are feeling your best, when you are feeling your highest self. You know, maybe you take on a hobby that's supporting a community that needs your help. Maybe you're expanding who you are mentoring, right, in the field that you work in. So getting better day to day is a lot of learning, one, how to manage yourself, because that's really key, right? And then two, that's going to help you impact others in a big way and expand what you're able to do with your gifts.
Oh, expansion, learning yourself. These are some nuggets. I'm adding these tools to my toolkit for sure, Paige. Okay, well, I know that this knowledge and this information that you have not only gained, but you really created the skill to teach this understanding to a lot of your clients didn't come overnight. It had to come through experiences, through different elements or moments in time that you have maybe experienced hardships, or maybe you found yourself in these stretching moments. So if you had a chance to speak to then the younger person of you, so the younger Paige, or someone who you may think reminds you of the younger Paige, about how your words influence your behavior and your thought life with reaching your goals, what would you then say to that younger version of yourself?
Woo, get me deep in the feels here with this question. I would definitely look back, probably in my college years. I feel like that's when I felt the most transition and not being sure of myself. If I'm going to tell myself, I wanted to be the smartest person and the one with most accolades, but I also wanted to be the life of the party. And I didn't know how those would mesh. And I think that the one thing I would ask myself to do more, or give advice to somebody who's, you know, between 18 and 22, 23 is figure out what you want versus what you should do. Because I think when we're going through the education system, not to bash on it at all, but we're in this environment where we know the right answer and then we figure out how to get there. We know the right answer, we figure out how to get there. And it's this really structured environment. And I think a lot of what held me back in college was acting in accordance of what I thought other people wanted me to do, what I should do versus what I wanted to do, like versus what really spoke to me. Like, okay, how am I going to be really proud of myself in this situation? What words am I going to be proud of for saying to somebody else? And just kind of like using every situation that I'm in as market research in a way where I'm like, okay, I don't like how I handled myself in that situation. What can I do differently? And so that's kind of what I would look and give permission to my younger self is like, listen, use every experience as market research and don't be afraid to ask yourself, are you proud of yourself in this situation? Is that how you wanted to act, or were you acting as a result of the people around you?
Ooh, so Paige, my mind is just going with a lot of different thoughts right now, because ultimately what you were just saying is do not just go through life, but grow through life. Every moment, every experience, every opportunity serves a purpose. You can gain something, some knowledge and insight about who you are, as well as your abilities. And so whoever's happening to still be a part of this conversation with us right now, if you find yourself in a struggle, in a stretching period, as I like to say, because we all go through those stretching moments, and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I get out? What is the point of this? I didn't picture this for my life. I would have never guessed. One, I want to let you know, you're not alone. I've been through those moments myself, and I'm sure that somebody else that you know has been through certain stretching periods as well. But one of the unique things is that we have the power of choice. If you hold on to a little bit of hope for tomorrow being better than today, if you hold on to a little bit of hope and realizing that there's a lot of greatness within you, that there's more to this life and more to your purpose than what you see now, that little bit of hope, allow that to fuel your words. Allow that hope to shift your perspective So right now, let's just say you're sitting at a job that you're not 100% happy with. What elements within the job connect to your purpose? Or what elements within the job connect to something that you're interested in? When you find and you can when you start looking for those things, then your mind begins to cancel out the negative. Your mind begins to focus on the things that really fuel you, that pull something out of you that's connected to where you're trying to get to. And so when we really hear this thing about living life in a constant state of growth, when we hear this thing about let your words shift your perspective in a way that propels you towards purpose, it's all about that mindset change, about being willing to identify the great things that are within you that may not be your reality at that moment. So saying to yourself and saying even in the atmosphere and in your situation that I know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, or I know that I'm a great parent, or I know that I am worthy of being loved, or that I am kind. Even in those moments where you may not necessarily feel like all of that, when you speak those things subconsciously, you're going to remember it. It then also slowly begins to shift the tone that you carry in your voice. It begins to release some of the tension that you may be feeling on your shoulders, but making the choice to say something different than what you're experiencing, making the choice to remind yourself of who you are. That one choice begins to create the shift in your mind. It begins to even change how you see your current circumstance. The circumstance itself may not change. It may not, but your steps towards getting you where you want to get to, towards that purpose, towards that door of opportunity, or even towards that way out, those steps will become more clear and clear on the path towards the direction that you need to take. Now, Paige, before we log off tonight, what else do you want to share? Is there anything else you want to drop? Another gem, another tool for our toolkit?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I think this moment here with you is hopefully really impactful for a lot of people. And if you're listening, if you're watching, just know you're here for a reason. You're here because you're meant to hear some of these words, and maybe it's going to plant a seed for you to embark on a different journey that helps you gain momentum in your life, where once you felt stuck. And just know that you are enough, you are loved, you are supported, and to continually revisit that energy. One of the things that I really love to do is pick up conversations with incredible people like I'm talking to tonight, but also to watch videos that really fuel me. Marissa Peer is a really great one. So she speaks on I am being enough, like I am enough. And so I encourage you to just revisit that if you are struggling, or if you're in those stretching moments, to just remember that you're exactly where you need to be. You're 100% loved and supported, and you are enough.
Well, family, I want to end on that. You are enough. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in this particular season, in this particular moment, even if it doesn't look like what you expect it to look like. Begin to look for purpose. Begin to look for those opportunities that will grow you, that will stretch you. Begin to look and find ways to say, instead of saying why this, why that, start asking yourself, what does this mean? What do I need to gain? What additional insight do I need for my next? Because family, moments are legit moments. There's more opportunities, there's more stretching periods ahead, but there's also more time ahead for you to live life on purpose. Our time overall is limited. So strive today to live life in and on purpose, to make your today better than your yesterday, so that your tomorrow can not only just be better than your today for you, but for the people that you encounter. Allow the people that you encounter to experience your best. All right, while you move forward this week, family, until the next time we talk, I want to remind you and let you know that if no one else tells you this, that they love you, I want to let you know that I love you and you can't do anything about it. I'm honored to connect with you. I'm glad that you're a part of this MWM family. So while you walk tall this week and for the days ahead that's along your journey, I want to remind you that you're a boss as well. So you can turn this word boss into an affirmation. You can say, I am brave. I am optimistic. I am selfless. And most importantly, I am strong. So remember those things, family. You are brave, optimistic, selfless, and strong. Walk forward today. Until next time, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.